Hey guys, welcome to another Survivor list. Well, kind of list. I thought this would be a fun one. I saw this on a YouTube channel and I thought, hey, I should do that. It's pretty fun. Basically, is I'm gonna talk about quick as I can because it's 40 seasons of Survivor. I'm gonna talk about every finalist in the of all the seasons, and I'm gonna talk about if I was on the jury, who would I vote for out of those finalists? Whether final twos or final threes. And I'm probably just gonna quickly, like, if you guys know my Survivor videos, you probably can guess what ones I'd probably vote for. It's pretty obvious, but I'll probably briefly talk about some of the runner-ups that season. And I'll try to go as quick as I can. But yeah, so this is just like if I was part of the jury on all these seasons. If I was part of the jury, who would my vote go for? Go to at the finalists. So let's get to it. Start with Survivor Borneo. Richard Hatch or Kelly Wigglesworth. Richard Hatch. Richard Hatch played a strategic game. He controlled the game. He invented a lot of things that are in the game, and he's just a better player. Kelly Wiggles is a good physical player. I can give her that, but she lacked on a social game and she lacked on a strategic game. And that's what Richard had. He had a strategic game and a pretty good social game, and I think he just knew the game within itself. So Richard Hatch. Season 2, Tina or Colby? If you would have told me like a month or two ago, I would have voted Colby. But I rewatched Australian Outback, and I do see Tina's game in a better light. I've always enjoyed Tina as a player. I like her. I like her social game and even her strategic game. But I always thought Colby played a better game. After watching the Australian Outback pretty recently, I actually think Tina did play a better game than Colby, so I would probably go Tina. I think Tina is a really good player, and I think she's a little underrated. I think she is. Season 3, Africa, Ethan or Kim? Ethan, easily. I really wish Lex went to the end with Ethan, because Lex was my favorite player, but Ethan played a much better game. Kim was a floater, so yeah. Next is Marquises, Versepia versus Naline. I really wish Kathy was there, but Versepia would get my vote. I thought she played a better social game, and her strategic game was pretty good. And how she made notes about players, that's how she won, like the final challenge and stuff. Is learning more about the players. It was really genius of her, and I actually applaud her for that. Thailand season 5, Brian or Clay? Hate Clay with a passion. Brian easily gets my vote. I think Brian is one of the best one-time players. A player who just played once. I think he's up there as one of like the best one-time players. I feel like Brian ever played again, he would do terribly. I think just this season alone, Brian did a really good job, and he deserved his win. All right, next is season 6, the Amazon. And that was Jenna and Matthew. Jenna easily gets my vote. Again, I really wish Rob Cesternino was in the finals, but Jenna would get my vote. I think she played a good physical game. I think she had a decent social game. I think how she beat Rob fair and square in the final challenge was really good. I love how she's the only one to ever take her immunity necklace off and give it to someone and use it in a good strategic way. So Jenna gets my vote. All right, Pearl Islands, either Sandra or Lil. I hate both these players. I would probably vote Sandra. I really wish Johnny Fairplay was there because Johnny Fairplay was my favorite player, but I hate Lil. I don't like Sandra either, but I'd vote Sandra just because. All Stars, Amber or Boston Rob? Boston Rob would get my vote. I think Amber is one of the worst winners. She relied heavily on Boston Rob's game. Boston Rob won challenges. He controlled the game strategically. He had a great social game, even though he did piss a lot of people off because his strategic game was a lot better. People took the game a lot personal back then, but I would easily vote Boston Rob. All right, Vanuatu, Chris or Twyla? Chris gets my vote. Again, Chris is like Brian. He's a really great one-time player. Is a one-time winner and a one-time player. He does a great job. I don't know if Chris would do well, just like Brian. I don't know if he would do well as a returning player, but I like Chris. I'd vote Chris. All right, Palau. Tom or Katie? Tom. Katie. Katie's a joke. I really wish Ian went to the end with Tom. That would probably be the best final two ever. I think Ian's actually maybe a better player than Tom, maybe, but Tom easily over Katie. All right, Guatemala, Danny or Stephanie? I'd go Stephanie. I think Stephanie played a really good, very controlling game. She controlled a lot of the game and stuff. I don't hate Danny. I think she's definitely one of the weaker winners. But that jury really hated Steph. So Steph had no chance in fucking hell of winning that season. But I would still vote for Steph. Exile Island, Aris or Danielle? Terry. But no, Terry won. Terry got third. So many players get so close to the ending and they just miss it. Yeah, Aris or Danielle? I'd vote Aris. I don't like Aris, but I don't like Danielle either. Cook Islands, Yule, Ozzy, or Becky? Yule's my favorite winner almost ever. Yule is one of the most dominant strategic players out there. Ozzy was good, but all he had going for him was a physical game. Yule played everything. He controlled that game. Yule easily gets my vote. Fiji is Earl, Dreams, and Cassandra. Earl, again, like Yule, one of my favorite winners. He easily dominated that whole game. It would have been interesting if Yao-Man went to the end with him, but I don't know. Maybe Earl would still win. I don't know. China, Todd, Courtney, and Amanda. I'd go Todd. Todd was a great winner. Todd controlled that game. If Todd didn't go to the end, I think Amanda would have probably had that in the bags, but I love Todd. Todd's another good one-time player. Really good. Micronesia, Poverty, and Amanda. Poverty. I'd vote Poverty. Poverty controlled the game. She was a dominant player. Really good strategic player. I know a lot of people were very bitter on Poverty, but I loved Poverty's game. I thought she was great. Gabon, Bob, Susie, or Sugar. I would have actually voted Sugar if she did well, but I have a feeling I'd be like Randy. I'd be going to that tribal council expecting to vote Sugar, but then Sugar would fuck it up because she probably gave the worst jury performance in a final tribal council I've ever seen in the game. She actually played a pretty decent game, but her mouth ruined it. So I would vote Bob Crowley. All right, Token Chins, JT or Steven Fishback? I love this final too, but I'd vote JT. JT played like a perfect game to me. I love JT. Samoa, Natalie, Russell, or Mick? Russell, hands, gets my vote. I hate that Natalie beat him. I don't understand. That fucking jury was just so fucking bitter. No. Heroes versus Villains, Sandra, Poverty, or Russell? I would probably still vote Russell, even though I don't. It depends. I'd maybe vote Poverty, but I would want to vote Russell. But I feel like if I was in this season, I would know Russell had no chance in hell of winning, so I'd probably vote Poverty. So, yeah. Nicaragua, Fabio, Chase, and Sash. I'd vote Sash if he played just a better social game. I would probably vote Fabio. I don't like Chase very much. I didn't mind Sash, and I didn't mind Fabio, but I think it's kind of a weak final three anyways. I only like Marty, but I'd probably vote Fabio. All right, Redemption Island, Boston Rob, Philip, or Natalie? Philip, yeah, okay. Boston Rob, one of the most dominating games I've ever seen. South Pacific, Sophie, Coach, or Albert? I would vote Coach. I think Coach played a great game. I think this is the best game where Coach wasn't a joke. Like, I love Coach, the Dragon Slayer and stuff, but he played a really good strategic game. And honestly, if he would have just owned his game, I think he could have won. He probably could have won the game if he just owned it. But he kept talking about honor and integrity. If he would have just shut up and just owned his game and said, I played a dominating game and I backstabbed people, people would respect that more and he would have won the game. One World. Kim, Sabrina, and Chelsea. Kim. Easily. Sabrina and Chelsea did nothing. That's stupid. Alright, Philippines. Denise, Lisa, or Michael Scoopin. I don't like this final three. I wish Malcolm went to the final three. I'd probably vote Lisa. I actually liked Lisa's game, but she was actually, like, honest throughout the game, and she didn't bullshit it, so I kind of respect her a little more for that, so I'd vote Lisa. Alright, Caramone, John Cochran, Dawn, and Sherry. Cochran, easily. Dawn and Sherry were his, like, puppets, and he was the puppet master. John Cochran all the way, easily. Blood versus Water, Tyson, Jervis and Monica. Tyson. I think Tyson plays an excellent game this season. And Tyson was always more as like the doofus and kind of a dumb player because after Heroes vs. Villains, he did some stupid shit, but he did a great job in Blood vs. Water. Really good. Kagiyan, Tony and Wu. Tony. Obviously Tony. Obviously. That I don't even need to talk about. Obviously Tony. Alright, Samuel Del Sur, Natalie, Jacqueline, and Missy. Natalie Anderson is a great player. I think she controlled that game really well. And the way she did with Jacqueline with that idol play, really fucking smart. Worlds Apart, Mike, Mama C, and Will. Mike's one of my favorite winners. He's the hero of the season. He had to win challenges to save his ass. He played his out properly. He went from the top to the bottom, but even when he was on the bottom, he still rose to the final 3. Good job, Mike. Shit, where am I? Second chance. Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha. I like Spencer, but I'd still go Jeremy. I think Jeremy played a really good game. If you went to the end with Kelly Wentworth, that would have been interesting. That would have been very interesting. Karong, Michelle, Aubrey, and Ty. I'd vote Ty, even though it's a waste of a vote. But I don't like. I'm not an Aubrey lover, and I don't like Michelle either. So I'd go Ty. I like Ty. I think Ty played a good game. Where am I? Millennials versus Gen X. Adam, Hannah, or Ken. I'd vote Ken. I don't like Adam either. I think Adam's an overrated player. I'd vote Ken. It's a throwaway vote, but I don't care. I don't care. Game changers. Sarah, Brad, Culpepper, and Troy Zan. Sarah gets my vote. She played an immaculate game. She did a really good job. And if you hear meowing in the background, it's my cat. My second cat, Echo. She's a meower. Here we go. Heroes, Hustlers, and Healers. It's Ben, Chrissy, and Ryan. I'd go Ben. Ben Bomb. If Devin was in the final 3, I'd vote Devin. But I'd go to Ben. Ghost Island, Wendell, Dominic, and Laurel. Dominic. I know some people like Wendell. I think he's okay. I liked Dominic. Dominic was awesome. I'd go Dominic easily. Dominic played a great powerhouse strategic game throughout the whole season. Alright, where am I? David versus Goliath, Nick, Mike, and Angelina. I would go Nick. Yeah, I like Nick. Nick was a pretty good player. I actually really liked Dan, and I liked Davey. But Nick, I like Nick. Nick's good. Edge of Extinction, Chris, Gavin, and Julie. I hate that Rick Evans wasn't there. I would maybe go Gavin. Maybe. I could get swayed to Chris, but I'd maybe go Gavin. Island of the Idols, Tommy, Dean, and Nora. I'd go Tommy. Tommy played a good game. I hate this season, but Tommy did play a good game, and he didn't need idols, and he didn't need to win challenges. He just controlled the game with his wits. So, yeah. And lastly, Winners at War, Tony, Natalie, Michelle. Tony, easily greatest player ever. So, yeah, that was my quick little who would I vote for if I was on the jury of all the seasons of Survivor. So, in the comment section below, who would you guys vote for every season? If you guys were on the jury of all the seasons of Survivor, who would your vote go for the $1 million? Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.